Jared here with carbuzz.com, and this week I am reviewing the 2022 Mini John Cooper Works convertible. This car is facelifted for the 2022 model year, so there is a little bit more to talk about than there normally would be on a Mini Cooper because they like to keep their lineup pretty much the same most years. Now we have a full driving review of this car also on YouTube, but in this video I'm going to go more in-depth and personal with the Mini and show you what all the buttons and switches do, talk about the interior, talk about some of the styling changes for the new model year, etc, etc. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell to be alerted of our latest videos. As I said, be sure to check out our full test drive review, and if you want to read more about the Mini Cooper, be sure to check out carbuzz.com. Now, let's start with the exterior here, where we've got a new front end on all Mini Coopers across the range for the 2022 model year, including the John Cooper Works. You see we have the red stripe here indicating that we have the John Cooper Works. If you don't know much about Mini's history, this badge, the John Cooper Works here with the cool little surfboard, we're going to see that all over the car here. John Cooper basically was the legend of racing Mini Coopers. He built some really cool ones back in the 60s and 70s, I believe. They won a lot of different races, so these are the sportiest Mini Cooper models you can get. We also have this new grille here. You can see we have these like sort of chunky air intakes right here. No fog lights on the John Cooper Works, although we do have standard LED headlights on the convertible. If you like this color, it's called Island Blue. It's new for the 2022 model year. I quite like it, although I think it looks a little bit weird with the red mirror caps that you get as part of the iconic package here on this car. You can get other colors. These are very customizable cars. So you can get white or black or checkered or whatever you want. Tons of ways to customize your Mini. Now these wheels are new for 2022. They're 18 inches and I'm not a huge fan of them because as you can see, they're convex. They kind of pop out a little bit. So when you go to parallel park, you might curb these. It's really weird. Not a huge fan of those. I actually did curb one. I'm very sorry, Mini. But again, that's because this car doesn't have a 360-degree camera, even though it is quite expensive. We'll talk about the price a little bit later. You do get a backup camera. So you see we have the red mirror caps here. Moving along the side to the back here, we have some changes around the back for the 2022 model year. Everything's blacked out here on this John Cooper Works, so we have a blacked out Mini badge. We've got these cool center mounted exhaust with like a cooler diffuser because we have the John Cooper Works. There's our badge right here. New for 2022, we have these taillights that look like the Union Jack, the signature flag of Britain. So now let's go ahead and check out the trunk while we're back here. It's a very interesting setup here on the Cooper convertible. As you can see, it folds down kind of like a pickup truck tailgate, and then you see we have our camera equipment crammed in there. It's not a lot of space back here. The opening is quite small too if you're trying to shove bags back here, but Mini has a clever solution to a problem that probably shouldn't exist. It's this easy load system here. So you see we have these two little latches right here inside. If I just undo those, now I can lift up this part of the convertible top, and now I can fold the easy load latches down like so to give myself just a little bit more space. And if I'm not planning to put the convertible top, I've got this partition that I can raise up. As you can see, this is the max amount of trunk space that you can get back here, and it's still not very big. You can fold down these rear seats to get a little bit more space, but I'll show you in a little bit that that's not super convenient to do as well. So let me go ahead and put all of this back down so that we can lower the convertible top. This does require moving your stuff around. Ugh! It's really complicated to latch this up. I wish Mini would have just gone for a more normal trunk configuration. Time to check out the inside. So my camera guy is going to walk over to the other side as I walk over here, and we can show you some of the niceties here on the Mini Cooper convertible John Cooper Works. We've got these very nice sport seats that are covered in this leather and suede as part of an optional $6,000 package. I think the materials on them are great. The bolstering on them is great. This is probably the best aspect of the interior here. They really hug you in. However, there is a problem. This car is $39,000 to start, $45,000 as tested because we have the optional packages. Still, you get manual seats. There are no power seats available on this Mini. That's a little bit disappointing, although they are heated as part of that package, and they do get extremely hot. So I'm going to go ahead and start up the car now. We've got this really cool starter button right here. Oh, see, we have hold remote control to the steering column here. We have to grab our keys right here. I can go ahead and show you the key fob right here. It wasn't detecting the key, unfortunately. This is our weird key fob here for the Mini Cooper. Now it should start. We've got this weird starter button down here. It's like a toggle switch down here that kind of lights up red. We've got toggle switches all over the car. It's a very Mini signature thing. The engine that we have under the hood is the most powerful you can get on a Cooper convertible. 228 horsepower, 235 pound-feet of torque. We're gonna go around the back. I'll rev it up to give you a little exhaust taste. So we'll unplug the mic so you can hear that. So as you heard there, it did sound not quite as good as a Hyundai Veloster N. Now let's get a closer look at this interior here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what you get on the most expensive John Cooper Works Mini Convertible. We have this nice leather steering wheel. We've got an 8-speed automatic transmission mated to that engine that I just talked to you about. No manual transmission if you get the convertible. You have to get the coupe if you want a manual transmission. We've got this interesting digital gauge cluster here. The tachometer and the fuel parts are actually analog, but this center part here is actually digital. We also have a head-up display that pops up out of the dashboard, similar to how Hyundai and Mazda do it. So again, for $45,000, I wish that it would be just projected on the windshield there. That just feels a little bit cheap for a car that's as expensive as this. We do have some nice touches here. We have a heated steering wheel with our button here on this side if you want a heated steering wheel, which is quite nice. And we've got these paddle shifters, which don't feel very high quality. You can see they're just made of like this very plain plastic, and they feel very flimsy, almost like a paper plate, like a disposable paper plate. That's not great. We've got our dual zone automatic climate control down here with these big large knobs. We've got more toggle switches for our traction control. These are our mode selects. We have green, which is like eco. We've got mid, which is like our normal mode, and then we do have our sport mode as well. Down here we've got our cup holders. We've got our iDrive style controller. This is very similar to what you'll find on a BMW model, although it is mounted very low and in between the seats, which is kind of weird positioning on that. Controls this 8.8-inch touchscreen display that is standard. We do get wireless CarPlay as well, but that's optional. You do not get that as standard. You can also touch the screen too if you don't feel like using this rotating knob. And it's a bit weird because the rotating knob is a little bit backwards from how I'd expect it to be. You twist to the right to go up and the left to go down, which is backwards from how a lot of other cars do it. I do at least like how there's enough physical controls down here. We have our volume knob, our mode selector, our seek track right here, and you have your favorite buttons so that you can save different radio presets and navigation prompts in there as well. So that is at least decent integration. And you can see we have this big light up element right here. If you turn the volume on the radio, you'll see that the lights change. It also acts as a tachometer, so you can see the light kind of moves as you rev it up. It's a little bit gimmicky, but quite neat, I guess. The other gimmicky thing that we have here is this openometer. You can see down here, instead of having our normal trip computer, you can have it show how many hours and minutes you've been driving with the roof down, which I don't know why you'd ever really want to know that, but okay, whatever. It's there if you need it. We also have Harman Kardon audio that comes as part of that Icon package. It sounds okay, but honestly it's not super great. And we also have a wireless charger in here. I do like this. It's very well integrated. You have kind of this spring loaded thing that keeps your phone in there so it doesn't come undone as you're driving along. Now I think an important thing to talk about here is going to be this convertible top. So I'm going to show you, this is the switch for the convertible top right here, and it has some interesting modes here. So what I'm going to do is hand the camera back to my videographer to show you. So I'm going to open up to the first position here. So you're going to see the roof is going to slide back a little bit, almost as if it's like a big moon roof. So this is the position right here. So if you don't want to have too much sun, too much wind, this is a pretty neat idea. However, when you have it like this, there's a ton of wind that gets sucked into here. Your hair is going to get all messed up unless you're wearing a hat, and it does get quite loud in here. So I don't love driving around in this position unless I'm going very slowly. Now if I pull the trigger again, you're gonna see that those pillars are gonna come all the way down, and now we're going to go into our full drop top positioning. Now, this is much more open. You get that full convertible experience. And while the roof is down, I can show you the back seats, because getting in and out of them with the roof up is a little bit of a pain. We've got these little levers back here on the back of the seats that allow you to slide the seat forward. Now, the seats back here are not very big. We have a single cup holder back here. I'm going to go ahead and push the seat back. My shoulder room is really tight. My shoulder is very much pressing against the sidewall here. I don't have a ton of leg room, and if the roof were up, I wouldn't have a ton of leg room either. At least like the seat bottoms are actually quite cushy. We've got some speakers back here, as I mentioned, and if you don't want to use this back seat at all, you can put up like a wind deflector here that's a little bit better with the convertible top. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold these seats because I want to show you another thing that I guess makes this a little bit more practical than some other convertibles like the Miata, and that is the folding seats. So to do that, we're gonna have to go back to the trunk now that the roof is down. As you can see, the roof kind of stacks up here on the back. Now you might think that this would be good for visibility, but not quite. When you're looking out of the rear view mirror, this takes up a ton of your rear vision, and the convertible is so flimsy that when you floor it, you like really start to see this area bend, so you won't see the headlights of the car behind you. You floor it, you'll see it. It's very weird. It's almost indescribable. I don't love it. So now that we have this everything down, I can go ahead and fold these seats so you can see these fold down, and you can get a little bit more space here, a pass through into the trunk, which is somewhat useful. And you might notice I left these seats folded up like this when I did that. That's because if I didn't and I drop down the seats, look what happens. They're just gonna bang against the seat unless you're super short and have the seat pushed all the way up. So it does take quite a lot of steps to get those folded, as you've seen. So everything we've just talked about here is $39,000 about for the base John Cooper Works. That's the fastest version of the mini convertible here, but the iconic package that we have here is going to take it up to about $45,000. Now, if you watch our full test drive review, you'll see that I don't think that this car is worth that price. For $10,000 less, you could get a Mazda Miata, or if you need a back seat, a Chevy Camaro or a Ford Mustang convertible. Those are just so much better value. I think the John Cooper Works stuff is kind of cool, but it doesn't work that well with the convertible model, as you'll see in that video. Now, the convertible version of this car is about $6,000 more than the John Cooper Works hardtop, so I'd probably just get the hardtop, or I would just get the 3-cylinder base version of the convertible and save myself about $11,000. Again, all of that is in the full test drive review, which I highly recommend you watch if you enjoyed this video, but I hope you've enjoyed this in-depth look at the 2022 Mini John Cooper Works convertible. I'll see you next time.